I want to talk about actually something more basic. I think this is something I get asked a lot by people. What is life coaching? What would you say to that?
It's just helping people do what they want to do.
Okay.
That's really
And
it.
who is it for? Is there another question I get asked? Who should hire a life coach?
I think most people, if not everybody, should hire a life coach. Just like most people, should work out regularly. Most people should, do all sorts of healthy practices. I think it's just it's for anybody who believes that they can achieve more with the help of another person. That's and I'm being very short with my answers on purpose because the more you try to explain life coaching, the more it sounds like some sort of
Yeah.
hypnosis pyramid scheme, and I'm lucky. Like I've never been religious. I've never been spiritual in sort of a mystic sense. So for me, I said I'm lucky because it's just been very easy for me to explain things
Hmm.
in business terms. It's like this is what this is. This is the service. You and I sit down, um, and we figure out what do you really want, what you think is in the way, and then we just take care of it so that you can just move directly to whatever it is that you really want for yourself. There's nothing more than that. That's it. It's just what do you want? What's in the way? Okay, great.
Yeah.
What are you going to change? And I think that's what I mentioned. What I liked in that second call with my friend early on, it's change. I think that in a not so cheesy sense, that's really the answer. You're paying for change. You're kind of investing in change in yourself. Like the whole point of a coaching session, at least in my eyes, or the way that I would run a coaching session is again, we dive into okay, what do you want? What's in the way? And then you leave with your insights, your takeaways from that conversation, but always leaving with your action items, right? Some people call it homework, but
Yeah.
like what are you going to do about this? And I think therapy is excellent. I have a therapist. I have a coach as well, and I think there are yeah, they're just different tools. And for me, coaching is like the action tool, the change tool, and therapy is sort of the, I guess, from at least for me, it's more of a release and potentially clarity tool, but it's just change. And to answer your other question of who's it for, it's certainly not for people who are just resistant to change, right? And at this point in my career, like I'll have gifted sessions or maybe someone will refer someone to me and I'm like fighting this person to change. And it's I don't laugh at them, I don't make fun of them, but this is what so many humans do. They will say I'm unhappy with the way things are and the results that I'm getting. Therefore, something needs to change and I need to change.
Yeah.
And then they have a session, me, for example, and I say, "Great, let's change." And then they go, "Whoa, whoa, 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 easy. Let's 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 not get crazy. I can't just change because that's scary." And yeah, I think at the heart of everything, we're just terrified to change because regardless of how advanced and modern our society is, how good our technology is, we have the brains of 100,000-year-old primates, and we're just wired to detect threats constantly. We're just constantly trying to protect ourselves, I think. And we don't, it's kind of counterintuitive because therefore we make decisions and tell ourselves stories that keep us very locked up and even more, miserable than we think we would be if we just did something scary. But uh, coaching is change, and it's for people who desire change and are willing to change. That's what I would say.
Wow. Yes. someone who is open to change, desires change. Another thing maybe I would add to that is willing to be challenged in their ways of thinking. Because if you say that, or anyone says, I want this in my life, and I know that something has to change, and then if there's some kind of a story or fear, like, oh no, I'm just not a kind of a person who does this sort of a thing, or I could never do that, or I don't know, millions of different stories people tell themselves. If we can, we as coaches will challenge them on that thought. And I think the important thing is, are you willing to be challenged on your ways of thinking? Are you willing to be wrong about something that you thought was true and you were like completely wrong, and you are open to the idea of being wrong? I think that's something that's in my experience also like really important, because if people don't like to be challenged, coaching is not for them. What do you think?
Yeah, well, totally. I think in my experience as a coach and as a person who's been coached many times, no matter how wise we think we are, no matter how much worldly experience we have, like I think we're all just full of it. Like we're all just really wrong about things that we think we're very right about all the time. I don't think we genuinely see reality correctly, both in ourselves, in our abilities, in what we are capable of, and what is actually possible for us to accomplish or to change in a very short amount of time. Right? Maybe not this week, but like actually, yeah, I think even this week. Like I think that's one thing that you and I have probably both experienced in the beauty of coaching. After one conversation, a person is just like, wait, I can just do this thing that I've convinced myself I can't do for years. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
give it a shot. Um,
yeah.
yeah, we're all full of crap, me, including myself.
The last question I want to ask you before we wrap up this conversation is, what is possible with coaching?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, what's possible? Yeah, I think it's so cheesy, and this is, I think, what makes it sound so scammy. It's really just up. I the more I do this, the more simple it seems to me. Where
Yeah,
it's just simply giving people permission to do what they already want to do, and the permission comes in the form of having an excellent coach and being asked insanely good questions, being shown who they really are, being exposed and called out and challenged, but also like paying a high fee. And again, that's what makes it sound very salesy. And I thought it sounded scammy when I first heard it years ago, but like, why do people show up to personal training sessions? It's because they pay for them and there is a human being waiting for them to show up and do a thing that they've been wanting to do for a while, which is get fitter, exercise more regularly. Like who's more likely to go to the gym? Someone who's paying for a personal trainer, waiting for them there at the gym at a certain time and day, or someone who just feels like they should work out more. It's it's you basically outsource a lot of willpower when you work with a coach because you're like,
yeah,
all right, I'm invested. Here it is. It's the ultimate sign of commitment. So it, what's possible is just like you actually do the things that you want to do. It's just that simple. And you go from, end of year, like, yeah, I think I'll do this by the end of the year to end of week. It's like, yeah, you have a session next week. So do it now. We're very good at finding reasons to not do something or to wait until later to do something. And yeah, you hire a coach who basically basically just forces you to be the person that you want to be.
yeah.
Um, it's
That's
that simple.
something.
It's not easy, but it is that simple.
100%. One thing I want to clarify for those not familiar with the inside coaching way of coaching is that we don't tell you what to do. We don't give you advice or suggestions, or tell you or give you homework like do this before next week. It's not that. It's literally coming from a place of curiosity, like you said, asking amazing, powerful questions, taking people deep, and helping them access their own ideas, their own insights. And this is what we both learned from ICC, Inside Coaching Community. This is what we've learned, and it's just the most powerful coaching experience, both to coach and to receive coaching, in my experience, because it comes from the foundation that everyone has one infinite potential, like, and they know and have everything that they need in their life within themselves. They have the time, the resources, the talent, the answers. If they're confused, I was a confused person, like I had no idea what to do. The answers were there, it just wasn't clear. And we're having a slow down conversation with another person where the primary focus is you and your life. There's so much clarity and um, insights that you can gain, and just that shift itself can change your life.